Chris did go on a rant on Instagram. This is not the first time he's gone off on Elijah. He's actually been accusing Elijah of putting his hands on his children and roughing them up for the past several months over on Instagram. But this is the first time that we hear about him actually getting the opportunity to speak to Elijah, man to man, father to father. And here's a recap of the entire ordeal from Chris, okay? So it's a little bit small. I do have it here on my phone to read to you guys. However, yesterday was a long overdue. It's like he's doing a press conference. Who asked for this? I don't know, but this is his little like Instagram press conference, okay? Yesterday, a long overdue conversation finally happened. Two men face to face, hashing things out the way men should, directly without interference. Obviously, shade towards Kail. Without outsiders or a manipulation, as men should be able to do. And for once, the person who had been preventing that conversation, again, a dig at Kail, or causing problems wasn't there. But even with them not being physically present, the entire time we were talking, his phone was blowing up nonstop. We all know who it was, do we? And we all know why, do we? Controlling the narrative. I won't go into detail about what was said, but the core of it was, how do you allow certain things to happen as a man? Put yourself in your shoes and tell me how you would then view things, because a lot of it doesn't make sense. I don't believe it should have taken this long, but the fact that it happened is all that matters. And hopefully we can grow from this, as we seem to. We may not see eye to eye on everything, but at least we're on the same page about the children. Now, if only another individual could stop pretending and actually make it about the children. Ooh, how do y'all feel about that? Is he doing too much? Is he doing too little? Or is he doing just enough? I gotta say, Chris, for somebody who refused to go and film the show, like, he's just been giving all of his like drama away for free. And I find that to be crazy, because then he complains about like not getting to like live a high off the hog the way that Kail does. He tried to do that little podcast and stuff, but he didn't even have proper microphones. But here's the thing, if you filmed the show properly, you would have been making good money, Chris. Like, what was the point of rejecting the fame, the attention, the show, if you were going to just pop up here anyway for free? Like, come on now. I don't know. Listen, if what he's saying is true, that Elijah has been putting the paws on the children, I get why he is so upset. Chris wouldn't be the first one to claim that Kail and Elijah's home is not what it appears online. The nanny, her former nanny, Natalie, right, who was there to really help a lot with the raising of Lux and Creed and the other children, but mainly focused on those two. She said the same thing. She said that Kail is a social media mom, but what goes down in real life is a different thing. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm taking a look at some of you guys' comments, and they are just so they are, I'm realizing that you guys were talking about the OnlyFans girl who was bragging about sleeping with 1,000 men and then got pregnant. Honestly, it's crazy. It really, really is. It's a time. Get ready. We're going to talk about that next. Okay, you guys. AD says, it's sad how many people hate each other, but unfortunately have children together. Exactly. This is why I will never feel bad for Chris. At least Kail was obsessed with him and wanted to be with him. He has never given a crap about her, yet he was raw dogging her and has not one but 2 children with her. So to me, it's like, you are so, like, this is a level of like dumb that I can't even comprehend, like, what were you thinking, right? And so I do think he deserves all of the mess that he gets as a result of this. And I'm not talking about her and, her putting the paws on him or Elijah to the kids, but I mean just the headache, because you were so mean to this girl, just so mean to this girl this entire time. You could have just left her alone, but you had to. You wanted your ego stroked. And so here you go. You're stuck with her for life, right? So Voila, you guys. And I want to see what else you guys have to say about the entire situation, okay? Houston Rose says they're still so obsessed with each other, even though they moved on, quote unquote. It's weird. And it's true. She talks a lot about him on her podcast to this day. She always takes way too long to get to the point. Let's get, oh yeah, thank you so much, AD. That's true. Shade, you guys. Yeah, honestly, listen, I hope that things are better moving forward for Chris, Elijah, and Kail. Like, Kail is not against introducing Elijah to her baby daddies. She did tell a story about a year or two ago about introducing him to her inaugural baby daddy, Joe Rivera, and how Joe really said, I hope you are here to stay. My child is still traumatized. And Kail confirmed it. Isaac is deeply, deeply traumatized by the divorce from Javi. Like, she really looked at Javi like another father. And then all of that was just gone one day. You know what I mean? And so Joe does not want for that to happen again with Elijah. I don't know why, you guys, but I just got a sudden matcha craving. I just started tasting it in my mouth and I was like, damn, do I have milk? Can I make this a little bit later? Jaleesa says, just tell Chris to get a job. Listen, the man, he feels like he's above jobs and above reality TV. So what is he doing to make money? I don't know. Kate says, Kail is an awful co-parent, but Chris is worse. Too much misogyny, not enough parenting. I agree. And oh, guys, why don't you guys remind me? I have a video. Let me go ahead and share this video. Kail responded to his Instagram post. Okay, you guys. So I've got the video. I am pulling it up here now, and I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys are able to watch it with me. So how the heck do I do this? This is going to be the first time that I share an actual video file. Typically, I'm just sharing like a random screen, you know. Present.
I'm just here to remind you that even if you respond publicly, if you don't talk about someone publicly, if you don't engage publicly, they will still talk shit about you. So at the end of the day, do with that what you will. Happy Friday.
So basically what Kail said is that it is not easy. I'm sorry, you guys, I don't know why it is chopping up, because on my end it plays perfectly. But what Kail is saying basically is it is not easy to have someone talking about you online and you not responding. But even if you do not respond, they are going to continue talking about you still. Right. So this is obviously a nod to Chris, because it is true that she has not responded to his comments, you know, and yet he just keeps on going over and over and over. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, did we do a morning report on this? Good morning, Kahara. Because Chris talked about last week, he said that the police called him on behalf of Kail, saying that he had to stop like referring to her, even if he doesn't mention her by name. He's got to stop kind of like hinting about her. So I guess this is like a big FU to that order, because there he is, obviously still talking about Kail nonetheless. Listen, Chris, like I said, you should have just done the show. Like, it's crazy to me that the only time he ever really voluntarily, honestly, I'd be crashing out, because it just hit me. We have seen Chris on the show a little bit, right? Like only little glimpses. And that was one when Kail had the Pothead hair care launch, and she was so excited to tell him she got a hotel room for them to, you know, potentially make another baby in. And then there was a second time where he jumps into her car to like give us all the middle finger and like say, you know, F you to the cameras. He doesn't like the cameras, blah, blah, right? But we never really saw like a real like good conversation between the two of them, right? Like where it looked like there was ever anything between the two of them. However, the only time that Chris appeared on that show and it looked like there was something going down was when her arch nemesis Briana invited him to do a podcast, and this man showed up wearing a certain graphic tee, right? And they did the talk, and then they hung out and stuff. And then he even let Briana, let me go ahead and lift it up. Do you see this? This is a kneecap connected to my thigh. He even let Briana put her hand on his thigh meat. Do you guys remember that? Kail never got to do that. Her arch nemesis got to like get all familiar with him with her hand on his thigh meat. And on top of that, the graphic tee that he wore to that first episode, what happens? Her arch nemesis is spotted wearing that graphic tee the next day for a second day hangout with him. That would be me if that were me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 4 years of dropping it like it's hot for you, getting a BBL for you, and you never acknowledge me, right? Or you never show any kind of interest or whatever. And all of that, my arch nemesis, you come and you actually do full-blown scenes with her. I see why she sued her ass. I see why she sued her ass. I would have crashed out so hard too. And it just hit me there now. Like, wow, like that's bad. Jaleesa's asking, does Chris raise his son true? It looks as though he's involved with his son true, but here's the thing. Does Chris make money? Because the last time I checked, he was living in his grandma's attic, refusing to like work, right? Because he kind of felt like it was below him. And I still don't understand it. He got a good university degree. Didn't he get a degree in kinesiology? Like he could be having like a good job, you know what I mean? But he's refusing to. I do know that he was doing like some little carpentry projects from time to time, but I don't know if he launched his own business. Like, is he a contractor? Does he work with a different company? I don't know, you know? So I feel like it looks like he is involved with these kids, but like, is he financially involved as well? I don't know. Yo. I don't know. Do you guys remember that? That was so freaking iconic to see him. Can I ask you guys a question? And listen, we don't judge, okay? Did you guys find him attractive in that episode? I kind of think I might have. I'm going to have to go back and like, because I forget the pictures, but I think I might have been like, oh, girl, to me, it's not like the type where I'd be like, oh my God, like risk it all for, but like, I think I appreciated that he was a good looking guy in that, like, you know, in those episodes where he was flirting with Briana, right? Right. Did you guys think that too? Oh my God, that was just so crazy. That was insane. That was quite the season. It really, really was. Oh God, you guys are too funny too. Y'all were just so in for it. Briana was so grimy and trifling for sleeping with Javi, and then Chris, like, girl, just dirty. She is obsessed with Kail. That was just so weird. Weirdo behavior through and through. And that's why she's been single for a while now, since Kail, you know, Kail's been in her relationship for a couple of years. She's off the show. So now Bri has nobody in her dating pool. But if things go south with Elijah, trust and believe that Briana is going to be ready, you know, ready to like put it down on him too. Like it is just so damn weird. But I digress. Oh, you guys, what a time. That was actually low-key iconic, I gotta say. You guys, we've got our last story coming up, and it is about the OnlyFans girly who has been bragging about sleeping with 1,000 men in 24, it was actually a little over 1,000 men in 24 hours. And now it turns out that she is pregnant. Oh, wait, before we get to her, okay, y'all were not finding Chris attractive. Okay, me neither then. Me neither. Who said he's attractive? Not me. I might be judging a bit. Oh my God, don't judge. I thought he was actually like pretty attractive in that episode. He's generally not my type or not my vibe at all. I'm a preppy girl, so I like preppy guys, you know? Or like classic, kind of like, you know, we're like elegant guys. So I was kind of surprised by myself. I was like, Grace, girl, like what's going on, you know? But Elijah, really, I don't think he's attractive at all. Not to say that he's bad looking or something like that, but I don't think Elijah is attractive at all. When she said hot neighbor, I was expecting a hot neighbor. You know, I said, you know, she pulled up a picture of him. I was like, girl, tell him to move so I can see the hot neighbor. What are you talking about, you know? Anyway, you guys, we do have our last story. Y'all are okay. Y'all are attacking me. Okay, fine. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. It was just that one episode. I was like, wow, he's got these great cheekbones. He's got great, like, you know, eyes and stuff, but apparently not. Okay, apparently not. Okay, let's get into, and I know, Theo, listen, I'm quaking here. I'm shaking in my boots. By the way, speaking of Teen Mom, you guys, I do have to say that I'm going to be doing my recap of that previous episode, last week's episode today, because I did finally watch it. And I think I'm going to watch last night's episode and get that done by Sunday for you guys. Okay, so stay tuned for that.